Hello everyone, welcome to our video 1A. What are you doing today? This is our first video in our series of videos for fiction level 4. So we really hope you like this lesson. Number 1, as usual, we have some objectives to make. So the first one, to contrast general and current actions. Number 2, to describe favorite dishes. So on the first part of this video lesson, you will learn everything that has to do with present simple versus present continuous. And then on the second half of the lesson, we will be talking about food and drinks. Okay? Now, as usual, we have these recommendations. You can pause the video at any time. It's a great idea to take notes. And number 3, make sure you ask your teacher any questions. Okay? As usual, we will start our video lesson with a very short video clip in which two friends are talking about football and the actions happening right there at the moment of speaking. Please listen and check everything about present continuous here too.
Go! Go! No!
What are you doing?
I'm watching my team lose a game. What are you doing?
I'm changing the channel.
Why?
Your team is losing and it's making you unhappy.
That was incredible! Never in the history of football have I ever seen such a team score so many points so fast. Unbelievable! This was a game I will tell my children about.
See, the game is making you unhappy.
Okay, here we go. Quite funny ending, right? So let's go back to our presentation here, okay? So as you know, those two friends were talking about actions happening at the moment of speaking. So that's why in this chart, we're going to contrast the two different parts. We're going to contrast present simple versus present continuous, okay? On the left side of the screen, we have actions like this one, things which are always true. These are facts, right? Like water boils at 100 degrees, okay? Compared to this action that is happening at the moment of the speaking, like the water is boiling now, so you can put in the pasta, right? I want you to notice how in present simple, we need to remember the rules of the S at the end of the verb for those third person singular forms. And then in present continuous, you will be always conjugating the verb to be and an ing form. So this is the famous ing tense, okay? The second case we have here to contrast is present simple used for permanent situations, right? Like Julie lives in London, right? Versus a temporary situation like Julie is living in Paris for now or for a few months, right? Situations which are slowly changing, that's another type. I'm getting better and better at speaking English, right? I want you to notice how the verb get duplicates that final T before adding ing. So that's a very common case in present progressive when you have a series of letters, consonant, vowel, consonant. Then you duplicate the last consonant before adding ing, okay? The next one, we have present simple for habits and things we do regularly, like I drink coffee every morning, versus a temporary or new habit like I'm drinking too much coffee these days because I'm so busy at work, right? Or annoying habits like my flatmate is always leaving the kitchen in a mess. Typically, you will be using present continuous on the right side of the screen, conjugating the verb to be as usual and an ing form, okay? The third case we have is present simple for future events which are part of a timetable. Like my plane leaves at 8 tonight, right? In this particular case, we talk about the future after certain words like when, until, after, before, as soon as, right? I'll call you when I get home, right? So this is a very common use of present simple and future simple form, right? Now, what if it's not present simple? What if it's continuous form, present progressive? Like, I'm meeting John after class today. Well, in this particular case, we also have present continuous, but it's actually a future plan. So that's another type of use we have. Okay. Now, finally, we have this final use, present simple, to talk about what happens in books and plays. Like at the end of the book, the detective catches the killer. It's very common. Versus present continuous to talk about people in pictures and photos. In this photo, my mother is walking beside a lake. Okay. Now, remember that we always have some exceptions, right? Remember the verbs cost, like, know, understand, and believe are usually in the present simple form. So you never use these forms in ing. Okay. This bike costs £200 and I likes rap music. Do you know the answer? I don't understand it. Do you believe me? So you will never say things like, are you believing me? Right? We do in Spanish, but we don't in English. Okay? Don't forget that part. Now, watch out for this special case. Some verbs have one meaning in the simple form, but a different meaning in the continuous form. Do you have a bike? Like, do you own a bike? That would be present simple, right? Like in a general action. Versus, I'm having a great time. So this would be a very common expression referring to a great party. So this particular verb, to have, would easily be used in simple form and in continuous form, but with different meanings. So be careful with that. I think this film is great. Just a general thought. Versus quiet, I'm thinking. That means you're doing that because it's a difficult exercise, right? So this will be another verb with similar features, okay? Now let's practice, okay? As usual, I give you a couple of examples before you go ahead and practice on your own, okay? Choose the most suitable answer. Someone, blank, for you outside. Who is it? Would you say someone waits, someone is waiting, or someone waiting? Of course, letter C is not an option. It's an incomplete conjugation form. And then the present simple form doesn't really refer to an action happening at the moment of speaking. So that's why we go with letter B, is waiting. Okay, look at example B. What of this book? I think it's fantastic. What do you think? What is you think? What you do think? Sorry. Evidently, option C, it's wrong. It doesn't really make any sense, right, in the organization of this question. And then B is grammatically incorrect, right? So we're only left with option A, right? A. I want you to take the time to complete the rest 4 sentences coming here and analyze what would be the best answer. A, B, or C. Okay. Now, remember that our second objective for this video lesson is to talk about your favorite dish. Okay. Let's say my favorite dish is sushi. Okay. There is a very short writing here, but I want you to notice how we use punctuation, how we use connectors, and how we start and finish our paragraph. So you can do the same. My favorite food is sushi. I love it. It tastes great and is very good for your health. My favorite kind of sushi is sashimi. That's what you call plain sushi that comes without rice or anything else. I like to eat it with soy sauce and horseradish. The only bad thing about sushi is that it can be expensive. If you notice, in 7 different sentences, I have mentioned everything about my favorite dish. I want you to write your own. Okay, so that's going to be part of your homework. Make sure you complete the questionnaire on our campus. That's video check-in below. And I'll see you next time. For further information, you can check our references. And we hope you had liked this lesson. Bye-bye.